Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. Yeah, I'm sounding a bit hoarse here. Um, Not feeling all that great. I hope I don't ramble too much. Yeah, I'm away. Great weekend away from home for work. And, excuse me, I come down with a sinus infection, bacterial. Yeah, I'm just feeling great. Kind of losing my voice. Anyway, and now to top it off, I am currently in Facebook jail only for 24 hours. Well, I've said that they were going to ramp up the censorship, and I'm not going to say that what I used a word I shouldn't have used, but it's a word I've used before. But they have started using this algorithm, which, there was no complaint put in against what I said. The, suspension on my account happened within milliseconds. So there was no time for any complaint. I clicked enter and it came back immediately with this suspension. So, yeah, they are absolutely ramping up on censorship. And there's no context that is being implemented. It's certain key words that are that will trigger the algorithm. So yeah, as far as Trump being censored, I know a lot of people on the centrists. They think that this is a good thing, and I'm not convinced. I'm not at all convinced it's a good thing, because all this really does is anger the fanatics on the right even further, and even the people that were not, that bad. Well, this has the extreme potential to radicalize those people even further. The ones that were not radical may become radical. A lot of them, not all. I'm not even saying a majority, but a lot more. So there's nothing being offered at this point to calm these divisions. What is being done is going to make them worse. I can't say I don't know if I agree with taking steps to make sure that Trump cannot run for office again. I'm not sure about that because of the problems it causes with the existing divisions. I don't want to see him as president again, no. But, to take away the right, not his right to run, but take away the right of other people to have that choice to vote for him, I'm not convinced that that is a good thing. Yes, Trump is an idiot. But if you take him away, then what you're going to wind up with is somebody that's worse, but is more intelligent. Somebody that already has links, you know, within the government, like Pence, you know, maybe even McConnell. Can you imagine McConnell running? To many on the far right, McConnell is a hero. And he knows the system well enough to get things done. So does Pence. So taking away the right of the people to vote for Trump, he wouldn't be getting any more intelligent in the next 4 years. He's had enough time for that. And so, from what I understand, the Parler app has been taken down from, Amazon and Google, and I forget who else. I mean, the entire app has been taken down. Now, I don't use Parler, of course, but, from my understanding, millions of conservatives actually do use this app. And yeah, there are a lot of extremists. And if it had been monitored, why are we paying, hundreds of billions of dollars a year for cybersecurity if they're not monitoring this? DHS, Department of Homeland Security, everything that all of our electronic communications are monitored. The fact that I got dinged within milliseconds tells you that this is a possibility. This is a key word that triggered the algorithm. And yet they could not monitor and figure out that what happened on January 6th was well planned out and coordinated. You don't just gather up that many people on a whim without without communication, because those people came from across the country. To take down an entire app, I can understand keywords triggering something which involve violence. I can understand different things happening. But to take down an entire app, which is used primarily by the conservatives, I can understand why the conservatives feel disenfranchised. If you do a web search on Google for any news subject, you're not likely to have Fox News or any conservative outlet that is ranked in the top, even though Fox News has some of the highest ratings of any cable news outlet. You'll see MSDNC and so forth. You'll even see CNN, and CNN among cable news outlets, their ratings are dismal. At one point, they were rating lower than the Food Network. So I absolutely understand why the conservative right feels disenfranchised by the neoliberal media and Google. Web searches, they're not giving equal representation in any way. So this is censorship. They didn't just censor language that was related to violence or anything. They silenced a very large platform for the conservative right, and they have been, kicking, conservative news far down in search rankings. The only way you're going to find Fox News at the top of your news feed on Google or Facebook or any of them is if you do a dedicated web search that includes Fox News in your search. I mean, I don't pay attention to, any corporate news at all because they're corporate. They're all corporate. They're all paid to tell you what to think. Something I do most of the time. I don't try to tell you what to think. I just try to get people to think. I give information out there for you to think about, which is not highly publicized. I give views, which many people do not consider. That's my goal. That's the whole point. But I'm not trying to make you come to a conclusion on any consistent basis. I try to avoid that. Sometimes, I admit, I get pretty heated up, but, and I will go that direction when I don't see any other conclusion to reach. But, for the most part, I don't try to tell people what to think, but the corporate news does, whether it's on the left or the right. And now we've got Biden coming in, establishing, some movement within the intelligence and law enforcement communities, a war on domestic terrorism. We should have been utilizing what laws are in place to battle domestic terrorism for years. I've said before, the FBI has declared white supremacist groups to be the biggest terrorist threat. We already know this. And yet, what's been done about it? Nothing. These militias keep on growing. And now there's talk about blood running in the streets in D.C. on January 20th. There's plenty of chances to plan for this. Make the inauguration remote, virtual. Don't have an inauguration ceremony for the public at all. That would be one way to stop it. Have armed National Guardsmen. Set up security checkpoints. If you have a live inauguration, set up checkpoints. Have armed security, break up crowds into smaller areas with, no entry zones. DMZs, set up your demilitarized zones. To break groups up. So if one group becomes violent, you can corral them, control them better. There are a lot of things that can be done to plan for this. It's not that hard. But we're being just this part of this is theater. Some of this is happening intentionally so that in the aftermath, what they do, just like the Patriot Act, just like mass surveillance, will be justified to get you on board with it. How many of you are already on board with it? Yes, take down the president's, social media, Yes, take down the Parler app. First, they came for the socialists. You know, when did they come for you? We can't take away the rights of our fellow citizens and think that eventually it is not going to come back to us. Anyway, share this video. Talk about these subjects. Talk about these subjects while you still can. How you still can. Because sooner or later you're not going to be able to. I guarantee it. All right. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. And I hope that my next video that, I'm not so hoarse. All right. Later.